It's just gonna amplify. It's gonna multiply. It's gonna grow, not so quickly, but in due time, due to the fact of your consistency.
It was funny, like 2 weeks after like daily posting, we had gone to a meetup in Orlando and someone walked by and they were like, "Oh, you post on Facebook, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And like they came to me because of that like recognition. So then I was like, like that was my first little like, okay, like, I got something here, like I'm doing something, whatever. And then like another 2 weeks later, we go to an event in Utah that Pace was speaking at, and somebody that was in the community that lives in like Idaho was in Utah. She was like, "Hey, you're the girl from Florida, right?" Like, "Oh yeah, like we just went to Atlanta for the conference," and I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you, I'm Jackie." And he's like, "Oh yeah, like you're from Orlando," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yeah, we talked like when I first joined, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "That is fucking crazy, but it's fun and it's good, like." That's the whole point,
I do, and just imagine if you understood what you did and can rinse and repeat it multiple times, multiple videos, multiple occasions. Because it's not a coincidence. The way social media work is if you put yourself out there, something's going to happen. If you don't, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to be able to meet no one.
Yeah. No, and like that, like I like where your focus is, and I think, like I said, there's people that need that, right? The people, especially people that like have zero idea what to do, and it completely stops them from even trying because they're just so busy with everything else.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I'd love to work with you, like figure out, especially like I see myself being able to bring you more clients,
And likewise.
Say that again?
I was saying likewise. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're good. But yeah, just like with the natural, like that's a need there. And, I feel like I can be a proof of concept for people of like, hey, just encouraging. And that's what I like. I like I naturally follow up and check in with people. And I feel like that's, an important part of the relationship building, and that's why people come to me when they're looking for something like, hey, I need money, like you're my go-to, like I'm looking, whatever. And so just really branding that of like being the go-to, being that connector, and that's really where I see myself going.
And you host, I saw that you host events as well, or meetups. You still do that, right?
Oh, so I've been good about promoting them. I haven't technically really ran my own. I did one time in like I don't know if you know where Gainesville's at. But when we first joined, we were like, we had connected with a lot of people in Gainesville, and we were actually going to Gainesville a lot at the time because we were working on something at the time with some partners out in Gainesville. So we had done our own meetup there, but then like I said, we are the same distance from Tampa. We're pretty much the same distance from Orlando. So I like to have my foot in both markets. Like people in Orlando know me, people in Tampa know me. And so I've really just been good about promoting everyone's meetups to the point where people are like coming to me to be like, hey, when's the next meetup? Hey, like, and so I've had that thought, like I do want to start my own meetup. And it's funny because I started talking with people about it. And this is actually something I wanted to talk to you about as well. But when I started mentioning that to people, I had someone come to me and be like, hey, I want to do a big meetup. Like, I'm trying to plan something. And I'm like, okay, like, let's talk, whatever. This dude, I don't know if you know him. His name's Brad Romine. But he is big into skydiving. Mm-hmm. And so essentially he was like, hey, I want to throw a skydiving event. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So he's got like speakers lined up, like Sam Singh, Marlon Johnson, Caroline Kane. They're all coming out here. A few more speakers, to the point where it's already been like, it's turned into a 2-day event because they were just like, that's a lot to pack in one day. Why not just do it in 2 days? And so it's funny because when you had or however we connected, we had reached out to each other. I reached out to Brad and I was like, hey, like, I just talked with this guy, you know, he's really into social media. And Brad was like, that's great. Like, you think he would be interested in helping us create a promo video for the event? I was like, well, let me reach out to him, you know, connect and find out. And so, like, you had mentioned too, like, you know, recording meetups or, like, you know, just capturing the moments. And that's my biggest issue is, like, I do a lot of things, but my mind doesn't go to, let me pull out my phone and record this. Let me do, you know, like, I miss out so much on, and that's, like, something I'm trying to fix, but it's hard to, like, I feel like I'm already juggling so much to be like, damn, I got to pull out my phone and record this type of thing. So yeah, like, I don't know if you'd want to collaborate on something like that. But we are trying to start, like, we're kind of cutting it close because the event is supposed to be January 20th and 21st. And it's in Zephyr Hills, the skydiving place. But ideally, we're trying to, like, open it up to whoever wants to come join, especially with the speaker lineup. Brad's like, you know, I really think this is going to pull people in. And so, yeah, like, I had started working with my partner on, like, a form for people to sign up and say they're interested in, you know, trying to come or whatever. But I was like, it would be cool if on that form we could have the promo stuff. Like, it's all a one-stop shop of, like, this is, you know, a promo video of the event. Here's the registration link to sign up. Here's a link so you can see who's coming, and, like, all the details all in one place.
That's brilliant. Yes, I would love to be a part if I can. I would love to be a part. Just let me know the best way I can and help in that way, because the event is in January. There's still enough time to promote it. There's still a lot of time to promote it. And you mentioned something about, you know how you said that it's hard for you to capture the moment? I've learned every time I have a conversation with everybody, the conversation be so great. It's not recorded. It doesn't be recorded. And and I just learned how to, okay, when I'm on a call or in person or in anything, just get my camera and just press record, because the conversation be so great. I often always miss it. So, and
you can always pull something from everything.
Yes. So I'm saying that to say, are you okay with me recording? Because I've been recording for the last couple minutes or whatnot. I just knew that the conversation was gonna be great.
Yeah, and, you know, I think it's cool. Like, you're coming in at a great time, and Florida, like, you know, I feel blessed. When we first joined Sub 2, and at first it was super overwhelming. You're, like, connecting with all these people from all over, and I found out about, you know, Central Florida has their accountability weekly Zooms, and I'm like, okay, let's check that out. And that's when I was like, man, this is bigger than what I realized, because when you have people in your backyard that you can start, like, connecting with, networking with, learning from, like, you know, we're all trying to, especially if this is something that you're getting in for the first time and it's new, like, being able to find those people that can literally hold your hand in person, that are like, hey, I've done X, Y, Z. Let me show you exactly what that looks like, exactly where you're trying to do it. It's powerful.
It is. Because you know how Pace Morby has the Sub 2 vault with all the recordings and whatnot. He said he do not get on a call. He doesn't talk to the studio. He doesn't help anybody unless it's recorded, because that conversation that they are having is at that moment. But what about weeks, months, years from now? It's the same conversation, but it's just recorded. It's just recorded, and that's why it's so important to be okay with capturing the moment. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's kind of like going to the gym. Jackie, are you familiar with going to the gym?
Yeah.
You know how when you start going to the gym, it was difficult. But then a month passed, you was like, okay, rather than it being difficult, I just have to be consistent with it, because I've learned, I practice it, I understand it now. Yeah. That's the same thing with content. It has to be practiced, learned, and understood every single day.
I love that. No, and So circle back to the meetup side of things. I did have someone else that, was reaching out to me about like, hell, we should do a consistent meetup together. She was already doing a meetup, and I think she just noticed how like I bring people out because I'm intentional about it. Like, a lot of people that do the meetups, they just create a flyer and post it, and whoever shows. But like when I'm trying to get people to come, I'm like intentionally tagging the people that I know are in that area that can come, and like I'm trying to bring people in, message them directly and be like, hey, like, I know you're out here, we're gonna meet up, whatever, if you want to come out. And like that's what really draws people, because especially in the step 2 group, like it's hard to keep up with posts and stuff. Like you don't see everything, so to think like, oh, I'll just post this, whoever shows up, like you're missing people, you're leaving them out that are never seeing that. So I told her that that's something I'd like to do with her. And I want to have, like, I want it to be intentional. I want it to be something where like people want to show up for a reason because they're gaining value. So having different speakers, and I think like social media is an important part of that. And so to have someone as yourself that like knows the ins and outs and can help people and teach people and offer services and all the things, like that's powerful.
I appreciate it. And that's when I learned. Remember when I explained that I was working with my mentors back in California. Then when I was working with them, I didn't fully understand what I was doing, because that was my first time doing sales. That was my first time like actually doing it every single day, because I was in the Marine Corps. And then I learned that we can only cold call so much. Granted, it's still gonna be there. That's another tool to use as a resource. But this social media game, a lot of people don't understand how great the social media is, how great the digital platform is, because of the people that you can connect with. The intentionality behind the post, the intentionality behind the conversation, the intentionality behind the way you're presenting yourself. Everything goes into everything plays a part. Everything is a piece to the puzzle to let the puzzle of the piece come a whole. And what you're doing, you're bringing people together because you are a connector, and you're not leaving yourself out. That's the most important thing, is that you're not leaving yourself out. And when you are doing this, you are the authority for bringing people together. And once people come together, they just want to do things with you. They just want to work with you. They just want to grow with you. They just want to be accountable with you, just because of how accountable you are to yourself.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, once I really found my lane and my focus, it felt like I could just dive right in. And that's what I was looking for. Like that thing that gets me up in the morning, gets me excited, like the thing that I can do all day. It's funny because sometimes I feel like, man, like, oh, I'm not working, but I have to remind myself, like, just because I enjoy what I'm doing doesn't mean I'm not working. Like, having conversations with people, whether it's, over Messenger, and like, I'm up answering somebody's question at like 10 at night or like 5 in the morning, like that's still work, even though I'm thinking in my head, like, damn, like it's not working hours or, whatever, but like I'm always working. But it's cool because I'm doing what I like to do, so it doesn't feel like work.
And that's when you know you're in your purpose. That's when you know you're in your gift. That's interesting, because prior to me, because I was in the Marine Corps last year, I was saying that I was gonna be a public speaker, not knowing every time you speak to someone, you're speaking publicly. So it taught me, not only was I perfecting my speaking capabilities, but I was learning how to be confident and be driven with everything that I'm doing, because everything that I'm doing has a piece to the puzzle that's getting filled. But it takes time. It takes connections. It takes community. It takes consistency. So, Jack, let me ask you this. Earlier, you said something about that you have the website and the link for people to sign up to see if they want to go and attend the event that's in January. What do you think? What do you think about having meetups? Sometime December and January, either once a month or twice a month, or whatever the case is, to where you can constantly promote the event that's in January and also bring new people, build more connections. Have you thought about doing it here in December and January?
That would be great. The one girl I was telling you about, I think we're trying to plan something for the 19th of this month. And I told her, a big thing about meetups is having that consistency. Like if everybody knows, hey, we're running this meetup every Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month, same place, same time, that consistency allows people to have reliability. Be like, okay, like I'm coming. But that's why you need to have those speakers, because you want to keep giving people the reason to come back. Some people the networking, not necessarily that it gets old, but it can get old if the same people are always showing up, and then it's like, okay, what are we doing here? But providing that value for them to take something new away each time, or, to learn something different, I think is what sets the meetup apart from other meetups.
I agree.
So yeah, I think that's a great idea, of adding a couple more meetups and just spreading the word that way. Let me send you, literally this website is bare, because I was waiting to figure out what we were doing promo wise. A video would be great. I told you Brad, they had done, I guess, a skydive meetup earlier this year in February. This was prior to us joining up too. And so he has some content already to create the promo video. And then an idea that we had too was talking about the speakers that are going to be there, and showcasing what they're going to be teaching on and speaking about, and having that too. But yeah, literally I'll send it to you, but it's just our form right now. And then it says sub 2 skydiving mastermind.
Okay.
Let's see.
And while you're doing that, that's actually a great idea. I just thought of another one as well. So how you mentioned that you wanted to have speakers at the meetups? What do you think about adding workshops? Things that you can do and practice at the meetup. Okay, today we're going over cold calling. We're going to role play with each other. And so that way, experienced people can help the new people, and then the new people can have the connections with who to go to. And it's just a random. It don't have to be necessarily just the what did I say? I just lost my train of thought.
Not just the speakers.
Yeah.
But having,
not just the speakers, but multiple things to do.
On it, the big thing, Brad is huge on the skydiving thing, from the perspective of getting outside of your comfort zone, overcoming your mind and doing things you didn't think you were capable of, and proving yourself wrong. Doing the things that scare you to help you grow. And so that's his premise and where he's coming from. And he's hey, but I just want to make this great for everybody. Even if people don't want to jump and they just want to come and network and have that time, being able to open it up, but also having people be encouraged to step outside of their comfort zone. But another thing we wanted to add was having cold plunges set up, so people can still, if they're, either they're not able to, or, it's not the time for skydiving. It's okay, well, you could still do something else that's pulling you outside of your comfort zone, getting you uncomfortable. And yeah, so no, I love the idea. I think the more the merrier. It's really, at this point, my biggest thing is just getting the word out, because I know we have something good. We've got the bones, the rest will follow, but we got to have the people, so let me ask you, for something like this, right? Creating a promo video, potentially helping us with recording, content the day of, the speakers or whatever, if that's even something you're interested or available in or to do, what would you charge for something like that?
So that is a great question. I'm actually creating the packages, my services packages right now. So that way, I can just send and be more organized with everything rather than just giving you a hypothesis, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, let us know, because it's one of those things where I think it would be great to have someone help out with that, and I think it could be very beneficial for everyone. I mean, for you and like promoting your services, for the speakers and them getting content and everything in between. Just capturing the moment. But then talking with Brad, it's like, okay, we have all these big ideas. We need money, which he has gotten a title company in his area to say they'll sponsor, but he's not sure how much. But there's a lot to consider. Like, we got to think about food. Like, we got to feed people for 2 days, and we really can't get a number from them until we kind of figure out how many people are actually coming.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know if you would be interested in, like, I know you had mentioned doing something like a free edit for me, but maybe we utilize that for the promo video.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can. I can actually create a whole promotional package, so that way you have the copy for your website, you have the copy for the video and the description, so that way everything just go and follow everything, or complement everything. I apologize, and complement everything.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, cool. And then just timeline wise, like, would you be available that January 20th, 21st?
As of now, I'm free. I should be free. Yes, I will be free.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Just let me know what you're thinking. Like I said, I can kind of send over all the videos and stuff that Brad has, and then we can kind of go from there.
Sounds great.